good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you may be watching this transmission and wherever platform you are watching this transmission. It is I, Mike Martins, broadcasting from the West Coast here from British Columbia. And crack open a nice sparkling water, maybe crack open a window if the weather's nice. Sit back, relax, pull your recliner back while you're watching us from your shed in the woods, or your log cabin and camping, or you're in your mansion on the top of the hill. You're listening to Mike Martins and the Mike Martins channel, and today we have the Raven, who will be speaking here in about 32 seconds. Guys, don't forget to follow us on bigger platforms now. I'm on BitTubers, I'm on BitChute, and I'm on Brighton. Get on those platforms. You'll find the links on the top of my channel on YouTube on the right. Get over there and subscribe, because come December 10th, 2019, I'm not sure what is going to happen. Okay, Raven, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good. How you doing?
It's good to have you on the show. It's good to have you. A lot of people missed you on Mike in the Night, so I said, you know what? Let's get the Raven on. Maybe do a little bit of chit chat with them and see what he's got on his mind and what's happening or what he's feeling. And I'm trying to talk him out of global warming, because global warming only depends on the sun, but that's just me and what the sun dictates, and sunspots and sun. What do you call those things? Corona ejections or whatever you call them. Anyways. Raven, how you doing, buddy? And first question I want to ask you, I'm just going to ask you first question right off the bat. What's happening with YouTube? I know you'd like to study and watch patterns and all this stuff. You've been watching my channel and what's been happening. What's happening in your opinion?
Freedom of speech is going down the toilet, along with a lot of our other liberties. But this is just another segment of our freedom of speech going to be taken away. They're taking flat earthers off there. They're going to take conspiracy theorists, anti-government,
MGTOW.
Anybody with a negative, everything. Exactly. Yeah.
MGTOW,
and anybody that has a negative view, according to them, of what you have to follow their narrative. If you're not following their narrative and fall in line, then you're not going to be on YouTube. So I'm very curious to see what December 10th brings, and see how I would just probably stop using YouTube at that point and move over to the other platforms, BitChute and YouTubers that you're on there.
Yeah, BitTubers. I'm on BitTubers right now, and what I'm noticing about BitTubers is it allows me to stream. It lets me do one stream a day now, because I'm actually paying like €8. It's in euros, so I'm paying in euros every month.
Yeah.
So I actually have to pay now to broadcast my stuff. It allows me to upload, I don't know, a couple of 100 minutes a day, which is really, I don't need that much, but still a couple of 100 minutes a day. And it's got rollover minutes, so if I don't use all my minutes, it rolls over to the next month. So it's a good platform. I think BitTubers is good. Brighton is good too, but people are finding it a bit choppy. Yeah. And BitChute is still very clunky, in my opinion.
You got to go somewhere. I think you're going to have to leave YouTube. I just have a feeling they're going to clean the whole thing. So and people will let it happen. You know, I can't believe people just let all this happen.
Well, because do you remember when YouTube was good? You'd go on and watch end of the world crap and watch, footage from some guy's cell phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And nowadays,
CNN. It'll be CNN, like you said, CNN.
Yeah, CNN. I'm getting CNN stream stuff on my thing.
Yeah.
On my stream, like CNN, Buddy interviews this person. I'm like, I don't care.
No, I don't watch CNN.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's coming up on my stream for YouTube under my under the algorithm.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't give a crap about this stuff.
Yeah, I don't watch CNN at all. I don't watch that circus. I don't watch any of that stuff.
The Clown News Network?
Yeah, I know. I have a whole different area. I look all over. I've got so many different areas that I'm looking at stuff. You've got to diversify and get an angle from everywhere and try and put the pieces of the puzzle together. That's and then hopefully sometimes when you read an overlapping story, it starts to make sense and you can build an opinion, hopefully a correct one. But I don't think you're going to find that at CNN. No.
So, okay, do you think, in your opinion, this is your opinion, they're getting this ready so HILLDOG will run in 2020?
HILLDOG can't run in 2020. There's too much connection between her, Bill, and Epstein. There's too much there. Look what Prince Andrew
cares? They did a lot worse than this in the past, and she still ran, and she was vice president, secretary of the state. Give me a break. That's nothing.
No, it's not going to happen. It can't happen. She's got too much connection to that guy. Anybody connected to him going to have a horrible time. That Prince Andrew, he's going to go through the ringer some more. Kicked out of the palace, no 60th birthday. That's pretty severe for a guy who's innocent, eh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I was just reading that today, and I was like, but now they got the Clintons. They got them going to the ranch a lot. They're too connected. HILLDOG can't run. She can't run, and she won't run. That'd be a big joke if she ran. She can't.
Well, no, I saw her on the news like 3 weeks ago. She's being pressured by so many people to run.
I know, but there's two.
No, she's not. Democrats... She's not. When someone tells you that somebody's saying something and telling you, it's never. It's psychologically. No one's telling her anything.
The deadline's passed for her to be in. Isn't the deadline passed? Like weeks ago.
Well,
I'm pretty sure she
it doesn't work like that, Raven. Again, take it back to square one. These guys like to renegotiate the rules as they go along. There's no deadline for them.
Yeah, I just think she's too corrupt. People don't want her there. There's no way. And another thing that's not going to happen? None of those Democrats are going to get elected. Trump's going to be right back in that office to finish off what his handlers want him to do. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of Trump, you said you have a chia pet Trump?
I have a chia. Yeah, I bought it at Canadian Tire. It's a chia. It's a head of Trump. Mm-hmm. And then we mixed up the chia seeds and we spread them on his head and we watered it and his hair is starting to grow now.
Wow.
So hopefully we can get a comb over out of it.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to CN, and you don't have to get into detail. A lot of people are asking if you're okay with your job. A lot of people on Mike in the Night were asking if you were basically working. Is everything okay with your employment?
Yeah, no, I'm good. We have, we're at the levels right now of people not working in my department. We're at the exact same level as 2015, 2016. You remember when the Chinese stock market crashed 45%? Mm-hmm. We had that little mini recession there for a while, and it started to look like things were falling apart. Brexit happened. I think we were in I know we were at a QE in 2014. Yeah, but Brexit happened and that Chinese, where they locked down their stock market, they banned short selling. That we laid off 190 people in that time frame, and we're at about 200 right now. Mm-hmm. And mm-hmm. from what I hear in the grapevine is we're going to cut 40 more on Friday coming up. I'm secure. There's no way. If there'd be bombs going off if I was to lose my job, it would have to be extremely bad. Yeah, they'd have to chop another 300 on top. That'd be a very grim
situation.
Grim economy.
So you're okay employment-wise with your job?
Oh yeah. I'm okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll be all right. But the layoffs are coming, and as far as that strike we had 8 days, we were down to 1/10 the amount of traffic, because we didn't have any conductors. We had managers. I had to work with a manager when I went to work. But after that strike ended, I noticed our traffic is still there's no traffic. I can visibly see how slow that it's getting in our economy just by how many trains are moving. Empty trains, our satellite yards outside of the area, outside our main yard, our satellite yards are empty. Those should be full. We had an 8-day shutdown. We should be overpacked with trains. It's empty. That's concerning to see that. That kind of makes me wonder a little bit about how severe this downturn is coming.
Because back in the boom days, I'm talking about in the 90s and the early 2000s. Back in the boom days, you were behind schedule by 2-3 hours in the train transport. Oh my God. There's a huge backlog if you're down for 2-3 hours. Here you guys are off, 6-7 days, and then you're not even backlogged.
You know what? Yeah, that's it. And I remember days when I would pass 17 trains. Going 150 miles, I would pass 17 trains. I passed 2 or 3 now. You know, it's slowing down everywhere. Everything is slowing down, and it's just slowing down. There's what's the word I'm looking for? It's not going to show. It takes a little bit more time. It's gonna take more time, but I think it's just going to slow and slow. And I also believe house prices are going to fly. They're going to crank with all the money.
I made a video. Was it yesterday or this morning about? Well, I've been covering it on trends in the housing market for the last couple of weeks now. Toronto price is going to spike. Sydney, Australia prices are going to spike. I've been saying it for every Commonwealth country. And give us your opinion why you you told us already on Mike of the Night why you think they're going to crank. Tell us again.
I think that the housing is going to go astronomically high because of the easy money. Look at Japan said today they're going to pump 163 billion, a stimulus. Mm-hmm. That's $1 billion. In their money, it's like 700 billion yen or something. But 163 billion. The U.S. is pumping it like crazy. China, they say that they're going to wait. They're going to wait until they're going to wait as long as they can for stimulus.
But here's the problem: they've already bailed out 7 banks.
Yeah, and they're in a lot of trouble. China's in a lot of trouble. Mm-hmm. You know, they're tapped out. They carried us for years, added 30 trillion deficit there to their deficit, but they're tapped out. They're not going to stand up and help us. They're in hard times. They, like you said, they have bank runs. They're bailing out banks. They got a huge default coming in December here. 17,000 employees? They're going to default on their bonds. That company. So, and how many more of those are in the woodworks cooking up?
There's about anywhere they're estimating a good ground economist that's on the ground there that really sees with China. You need ground economists. You need actual people that actually like regional managers, district managers that know the real numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's communist. You start giving out the real numbers, you're going to end up in a gulag somewhere. You know, you don't want to be giving them any hard time. You gotta answer for what you're going to say to those people, eh? You know, when they say, "Oh yeah, no, we like the social credit system. Yeah, we like it very much. We feel safe. You speak out against it, see what happens to you." Yeah. And another thing with them is they got that huge. They have a huge consumer debt problem. Like their household debt problem is astronomical. It's as bad as Canada probably. And then they got a $53 trillion credit market. Like they got too many problems. There's too much. And with the U.S. playing with them, and I think they had huge problems there, man. And they're in no position to deal for a trade war. The U.S. I believe is got all the power on that trade war.
Well, their banks have zero to no leverage. But the thing is, one thing China is doing that's in the right. And I have to really take my hat off for them on this. They've already bought 10,000 tons of gold in the last 3.5 years.
Yeah.
That's one thing I have to actually, and the Chinese and the governments are also saying to buy up gold too.
Yeah.
So
I bought gold this week. I bought 2,400 in gold, and I bought a 100-ounce bar of silver. I bought the 100-ounce bar of silver at spot with no premium.
Good. You want to buy it at spot anyway. You're not buying it for like artistic purposes either. You're just buying it to hold, right?
Yeah, that's all. I don't sell. I bought all the gold was jewelry, which I got just over melt, like from a flea market. The guy sells higher end jewelry, but I got it at just over the cost of gold. Mm-hmm. So I bought 3 necklaces and a coin, a quarter ounce 1898 coin, American coin, quarter ounce, and 3 necklaces. So I'm just under the radar, buying whatever I can. I picked up some silverware too, 2 spoons and a napkin holder, heavy, all sterling silver. Whatever I can grab, anything I can get.
Solid silver.
You know what? The money that I make, as fast as I can convert it into something that's a hard asset, it's gone.
Yeah,
I only pay my bills with fiat, and there's no savings anymore. I flip everything, and as much as you can put into hard assets.
Mm-hmm.
I see how fast the debasement of our currency, 5 to 8% a year. You got to get out. You have to be in hard assets.
You definitely do. You definitely do. That's
You-
definitely.
at least until they change the rules of the game again, because they're never going to let you win, eh? But until now, we can still have them, and that's where I'll be. I think that's a safe bet.
Yeah, I hear you.
So
I hear you.
everyone's buying it. Poland just bought 8,000 bars.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, they're all buying it. They're rushing to get it, and I bet there's probably none to be had if they're probably cleaning out the refineries in Switzerland.
So let me ask you, what happens to countries like, okay, I know Portugal and I think Switzerland are there's not too many countries in Europe that actually have an actual physical gold reserve. I know Portugal has a gold reserve because they've had it since they discovered gold in Brazil. They have, I think they're they're still in the top 10 countries but they actually have the gold. They never shipped it to America. They never shipped it. They were neutral during World War II, so they never shipped anything anywhere. They kept their gold in the reserves, underground Lisbon, in the underground cellars in Lisbon, where it is today still, and it's been audited twice. Now, my question to you is, what happens to the countries like Italy, where a majority of their gold reserve, and Italy was even caught making a spoof video in the 90s showing their gold reserve, and it was all fake in the 90s. Yeah, to calm investors or to calm. Now, what happens to countries like Italy, where a majority of their gold was under the Twin Towers, and Germany and other countries like I think Slovenia had. I don't know. There's lots of countries after World War II that put their gold in American storage for protection or whatnot. What happens to the countries that don't have physical gold?
Canada. We have no gold. We have like 63 ounces, they say. Why did we sell our gold?
To who?
We sold our last 2 tons in 2016.
To who?
We got rid of it. Yeah, but why? Why did we sell our gold?
I wouldn't say we're like in the top 20 top producing gold countries in the world if we want to be. We could be number 1 in the world if we actually put money towards these projects and actually stop worrying about garbage that doesn't help the country and actually start putting money more into the private sector and into the workers, as opposed to, because I remember during the Eisenhower administration, right? A lot of the money was put into the workers' hands. It was put into the projects. It was put into private sector projects. None of it was federalized. The Eisenhower administration spent almost no money in public sector works. It was all, the public sector by building their highways and expanding their highways, just around that Dust Bowl occurrence they had there back in the day, the Dust Bowl, whatever that was, that pretty much put America off the rails for a year and a half. But what I'm saying is, like, the Eisenhower administration, in my opinion, was one of the better ones because he divided public and private sector funding, and a lot of it went to the workers' hands, and that's why you saw that's why everything, like 1 out of 3 things was made in America. Now, you're lucky if 1 in 3,000 things are made in America.
Yeah. And another thing is, you said Canada's got the good gold mines. What happens in the other country? Look what's happening all around the world. Populism,
but we're not funding
rioting.
it. Our federal government is not putting money in the hands of workers. That's the problem. And that's why Canada has a gold mine in Colombia, or one of our gold mine assets that we own in Colombia. And I read the article yesterday. We sold it to China.
Yes, I saw that article. Yeah, they bought it. Yeah. But
why is Canada selling its offshore assets? It's China that's got to be selling us their gold mines.
You have to have a gold mine in a politically friendly country. Once it starts to fall apart, they nationalize the gold mine and you lose it. So look what's happening around the world. Look at Africa. They're killing the miners.
Mm-hmm.
You got to see, our country in the end is politically stable at this point. But you start looking at Latin America, and they're falling apart, man.
Yeah, Chile right now.
Yeah.
Chile and Argentina right now are in even Uruguay right now, and there's a little bit of unrest in Uruguay, and there's a bunch of problems right now in Venezuela too.
And there's gold mines out there.
Oh, and Colombian riots too. In Colombia, there's riots.
Yes, well, pretty much everywhere, Mike. Pretty much everywhere there's riots right now. Almost pretty much everywhere. And what did I say? There was a new place that started. I think it was Colombia. Yeah, Colombia this week has started having riots now. That last one you said there, that just started recently, eh?
Yeah, my friend is down there. He said they've been having problems with the Contras down there.
Okay.
The faction, one of the factions there, fighting in the jungles there for, like, even in Mexico, there's still huge separatist movements, like the Zapatistas, and all those guys have huge separatist movements even in Mexico. They want to divide Mexico in half. They've been trying to divide Mexico in half with the Zapatista movement. Has been trying, I don't know, for the last, like, 103 years.
Yeah, that's a lost place, Mexico.
Yeah.
And I think Trump just labeled the cartel as terrorists too.
Of course. So what do you think they are? They're what are brothers in
I know, but now being labeled a terrorist, that's a whole new ball of wax. They get whole new funding. They get all kinds of new money to fight that because it's labeled a terrorist. Mm-hmm. Trump said, "Hey, you want me to come down there and clean out your problem?" He would have too.
Yeah, he'll just send some bunch of Green Berets and some Navy SEALs down there, get the Coast Guard in there around the major ports, and just start seizing crap, arresting people.
You know what you got to do? You got to get the president from the Philippines. What's his name?
Duarte. That guy's good, man.
Yeah. Get him down there. Get him to clean it up.
Yep.
Yeah. That guy's he's awesome. That guy.
All right. I read an article this morning about the Amero might be a thing where Mexico, Canada, and the United States might come as one. Could this frivolous spending and all this political spending and provincial spending, federal spending, out of control, off the rails, deregulation of banks. They removed the Glass-Steagall Act during the Clinton administration, and they basically set this up. No, it was during the Obama administration. They removed all these things basically to deregulate the banks, to screw over the average Joe Donuts. Are they purposely doing this because they know it's going to come to an end and we're going to create a North American Union? What do you think?
I think it's all by design. I don't think it's a North American Union. I think it's a world union.
World might be too. No, I could see them unifying North America first, and then you're going to want to see Central America want to join, and then eventually South America will join, and then you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just like I'm looking at the end result. I see it a complete one world. That's what they want. It's I think we all know
that won't be in our lifetime. I don't even think it'd be in my kid's life either.
Really?
I don't think so. There's just too much. There's just too much bureaucracy when it comes to, like, understanding guidelines, understanding, like, okay, we got the Georgia Guidestones, we got all that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the amount of level of bureaucracy and levels of government and levels of different setups for continuity of governments that they have set up in different countries. There's just so many levels of everything. It's just floating everywhere. It's just so hard. Like, if you could actually put a physical look to all this stuff that's out there, you'd see this spider web going all over the world. And they have to unravel that web. And they have to do it one continent at a time, like they did with the European Union. And it's a big failure. But it's not designed to work. It's designed for failure. So they could purposely include North Africa. And then they could start including Asia. And, Eurasia. It's going to become Eurasia. Right?
How do you control 7.8 billion people? You do it through fear.
Well, you make people think that there's 7.8 billion out there. You make people think. You see, I don't believe. I find that really hard to believe. I know there's a lot of people out there in this world. I really know there's big populations and stuff. But get on a plane and fly, man. You get on the train and you see how many hundreds of acres of farm you pass before you see another human being or a light.
I see a lot of deer.
Right.
That's what I see.
But what I'm trying to tell you is you could go 1,000 miles in Canada and not see another human, depending on which route you take. Right? In America, it's a little bit different. You could go probably 85 to 100 miles in some parts of America and not see another human being. There's a lot of openness out there. You know what I'm saying?
Go to China. Go to India. India is going to overtake China by 2029 in population. I think there is a lot of people. I don't know how you would ever really know exactly how many, but
We don't.
I think I think it's pretty accurate. I think we're over 7 billion people. You don't? What do you think we're at? 4 or 5?
I think, because you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I used to volunteer for census. You counted for
Yeah.
languages, and I would work for I actually volunteered for the Language Bureau for 4 years in a row. Okay? Now, I would call offices in Central America to get their language stats if they weren't sent in. So I'd call in Honduras. I remember calling Honduras, and I have a number there that I call for their language census to make sure I speak to a human being to get the actual numbers that they've collected, right? So I'd call, buenas tardes, mira, necesito los números de la gente, cuántas habitaciones tiene. Then I ask them questions, how many chose Spanish as a first language, blah, blah, blah. Okay, listen, this is what I got. When we tallied the You Counted, it was called Census You Counted. It was a thing they did in 2013, 14, and 15. Okay, Mandarin came in first. Okay, it was 1.24 billion. Okay, it was Mandarin. And then it was followed by... was it Cantonese or Mandarin? One of those, Mandarin first. Then it was followed by Spanish with 408 million. Then it was English, 380 million. And then it was Portuguese, 308 million. A lot of people don't know there's about 100 million people that speak Portuguese in Africa. A lot of people don't know that. And then, and a lot of people don't know the official language in South America is Portuguese because of Brazil. There's about 308 million people who live in South America, okay? And 208 million speak Portuguese as a first language. But here's the deal. So this is what I'm trying to get to my point here. Portuguese, 308 million. Fourth big. Then Arabic, 222 million. And then you start breaking it down to Hindi. Then it becomes not Hindi. Hindi, Bengali. Then it's I forgot what it was. And then Japanese was number 10. And then Russia was 11. And then it keeps going up, right? When you add all those numbers up, it all comes out to about 4.2 billion people. So are you telling me that there's the 4.2 billion people that we caught in our census? Or is there really around 4.2 to 4.5 billion, realistically?
I think there's almost that between India and China. I think there's 3 billion people almost in those two countries, 2.5 billion just there. But
then what do our language census says the complete opposite? Because you should have the biggest language in the world. It should be Mandarin as first, like it is, 1.24 billion or whatever it was. I can't remember. I got to check my notes. Then second, why is it Spanish? Why is it 408 million people speaking Spanish? Why isn't Hindi next with like 1 point something billion? That's what I'm trying to ask you, huh?
You know, and there's like 2,000 dialects of language in India.
That's true. We counted 196.
Yeah, there's tons
and Portuguese is one of them too.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah. But what I'm saying is, I'm asking you, like, when you actually take, like, when we take all the census languages, I think it went up to 216 languages, or 226, I think we got recorded for, it's got, like, over 10,000 or more speakers, or 23,000 or more, whatever. Okay, we got it all down, and it still came up to 4 billion people, 4.25 billion people.
I know the birth rate's on the decline in Western world. Mm-hmm. I've seen the stats. It's dropping. But I believe, you know what, the Muslims on average have 8.1 children. Muslim families, 8.1 children on average. Do the math. You know, Canada's an Islamic state in 20 years. So is the U.S. Do the math.
US...
Like Gaddafi said, we don't have to bomb you. Our numbers will take you. Mm-hmm. He was right. He's right.
I honestly think no. I don't think the Chinese will allow it in Canada. No, I'm being honest with you. The Canadians are done. Like the Canadian proper's finished. I'm being realistic. It's the Chinese. It's up to the Chinese. If the Chinese say no, it's over.
Yeah.
So I don't think the Chinese will allow it. They say by 2025 we're going to have roughly close to 5 to 7 million Chinese in Canada if we keep bringing in 500,000 a year.
Well, how else are we going to grow our economy? You know?
Yeah.
It's all done through immigration. I drive by massive condominium projects block after block after block going. When I leave on my train, I'm just looking out the window. I'm like, holy, where do all these people, like I'm talking thousands and thousands of condos. We're pressed all the way, like our city has a perimeter, right? It runs all the way around the outside of our city, and we're built right up to the perimeter. I think on almost every four corner of this city, we're at the point where we have to expand the city on the outside of the perimeter. It's we're full. Like we're building like crazy here. Unbelievable amount of building. But like they say, we always build at the end. We always overbuild at the end of a cycle, eh?
Right. Okay, but let me ask you a question. Are those Muslims that are building that?
A lot, yes,
Really?
a lot. And
Those new
yeah,
condos?
and some of them, yes.
I
And
believe it's more Chinese investment.
there is a lot of that too,
Okay,
yeah.
I
But
believe
I've
like
actually
a
seen,
majority of Vancouver is all for Chinese investing.
yeah, but I've actually seen like Sikhs. They wear the turban there, so I've seen a full group of contractor Sikhs build fourplexes in my neighborhood. I see them working and
Right, that's
building.
different, but that's different. That's a whole different culture now.
Yeah, but same country,
No,
but India. Well, you're thinking Pakistan now,
yeah,
right?
okay,
But a lot of Muslims in India too, and in that area. So, which by the way, they might just go to war eventually. So,
maybe I don't
yeah,
think so, but anyways, but
Kashmir,
okay,
yeah. So anyway, but I'm looking at all those condos, and the majority of them are rental properties. They're little condo rentals, and about a third of them are probably condos that you can buy in. And those rental properties in Winnipeg, those I talked to some people who went there. They're $1,500-$1,600. You know,
pesos.
Canadian dollars.
What?
I know. 50. I talked to I went over to this couple's house. They wanted to sell some antiques. I went there and I was looking at this chair they wanted to sell. And I said, how much for your apartment here? 2-bedroom apartment. 1,900 plus utilities in Winnipeg. I said, are you kidding me? 1,900?
Dude,
Wow.
you could get a place in Beverly Hills for that much.
Yeah, but it's just it's a nice apartment, 2 bedrooms
Beverly Hills
with
is
two
nice too.
bathrooms. Well, I don't know if I want to live there. The place is not doing well.
Oh well, I think it's doing. I think Beverly Hills, as an economy on its own, is doing a little bit better than, let's say, Beverly Hills, like than Oshawa, Ontario.
Yeah, but I was watching some shows on California there. The guy walked around the car dealerships with his cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
7 or 8 dealerships, he saw one customer. That's it, on 7 or 8 car dealerships. And you're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cars.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went by some RV dealerships and there were no customers. He just keeps walking around stores that are shut down. And my friend,
Yeah. Empty malls and stuff.
one of those managers I was forced to work with the other day from Calgary told me, he said he figures 60% of the office space in Calgary is empty.
Yeah, I just had someone message me from Calgary telling me things are getting pretty bad in Calgary. Like everything, it's turning into a ghost town, like literally a ghost town. Restaurants are boarded up at night. Nothing's open. It's like very small venues. Nothing to do for attraction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you know what? Where I work, we were hiring guys 2 weeks in the yard. They would work in the yard, switching 2 weeks. Boom, they're on the road as a road conductor. Now you need 6 years to hold on the road as a road conductor. A few months ago, you needed a month of service to hold. Now you need 6 years. We're feeling the squeeze where we are. It's amazing. This is our busy season. It's amazing to me to watch this. It's picking up speed. It's progressing faster and faster and faster. I'm starting to think that I want to cash some stocks in here. I don't think I want to go into 220. I don't want to go into 2020 holding company stocks in the stock market and that. I think I want to sit on the sidelines and see what
take it
2020
easy,
brings.
right?
Yeah, it's all company shares, the employee share program and that, but it builds up over time. And I think I just want to pull it out.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about buying some more gold. I don't know.
Just be don't be too rash. Just take it easy, breathe.
I'm prepared, Mike. I'm prepared.
Yeah.
I've been preparing for this for 8 years.
But tell us, what are you exactly preparing for? A civil war? Are you collapse in government? Civil unrest? We're in a series we're in social unrest wars right now. We are in social media unrest wars. So what are you preparing for? Tell us.
I'm preparing for financial hard times. I'm preparing for just very financial hard times. And I study a lot on the pension systems around the world, but a lot about the U.S. and the multi-employer pensions and how they're suffering. And I see the cuts that are coming. Illinois, all that, they got a big pension problem there.
Oh yeah.
The United States is 62% invested in the stock market. Their pensions is they're at the casino, 62%. Canadians, I think, is about 54% of our pension plans are now in equities at the casino.
But we have a tiny problem here. Chicago, Illinois, the problem with, Illinois, the state of Illinois, they have like 7 layers of government. Do you know how much pensions they got to pay out there? Oh my God.
Well, they're paying more money in their pension than the people made.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, 100%.
See, they're looking at cutting the police pensions here in Winnipeg. They want to cut the cadets, you know, the new hires. They drive around in cadet vehicles for a year and they walk the beat. They're dressed different. They're cadets, not full-fledged police. They want to cut them, and they want to cut some of the police force. And they want to start not counting your overtime towards your pension. If you're a police officer in Winnipeg, they're not going to count your overtime in calculating out your pension. So that's going to hurt them. And then they've got some other age barrier things where they're going to reduce your They're going after the cops. You know, you throw methamphetamines at them and then you want to cut their pensions?
Yeah.
Give me a break, man. We need more cops. We don't need less cops.
Yeah, that's the thing. We need more policing, good policing, you know, arrest reports, you know?
Yeah, in the environment, in the economic environment we have now, you're starting to see a lot more strikes, a lot more wage arguments between employers and that, and you're going to see it all over. And with the interest rates going low, and the pension crisis coming, and if that stock market lets go, you're going to see a lot of older people not be able to make ends meet. And then what do I plan for? I buy a lot of gold and silver. I think that it's going to be like Catherine Austin Fitz said. She said it years ago. This is going to be a slow burn, and it's going to be a slow burn. And she was right. It's a slow burn. We're watching it, slow burn. I think the governments are probably racing to get certain things in place. You know, I know. Oh, here's something I didn't tell you. You know, I told you the cameras they're putting at all the intersections in the city.
Yeah. What's happening with that?
From what I can tell in Winnipeg, they have a camera at every single intersection that I've looked at. Now I see them putting cameras in between the intersections, going down the streets. I'm seeing that now. That was very disturbing.
Do you know what that is? That's to keep the line of sight open. So let's say they're trying to follow somebody. This way they could follow them via line of sight from so up the street, halfway through, next camera. Okay, he's walking up, next camera. He's walking to the next corner, next camera. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't think it's for the criminals. I think it's for us. Because the criminals, a lot of them have broken many laws already. A lot of these people should be put in jail. But they're not in jail. I don't think they could care less about people. I think they want to control the average citizen. The criminals, I don't think they even care about them. Because
what happens when the older people start to not have enough food to eat, when the jobs are not there? It's a disintegration of society. They're going to lock it down. Mm-hmm. That's what I see coming. They're locking it down. It's a slow process. But if you think that's for traffic, under the guise of traffic, you got to give your head a shake. You know, it's all there. People just don't really care to look at it. They can't look away from the Kardashians long enough to look over there and go, "Hey, what is that?"
What is that? Is that a planet?
Yeah, it's a flat Earth.
Oh, a Kardashian.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I see. It's going to be a slow burn. The stock markets, I don't know. They're just breaking some, like, it's classic. You look at it, they're breaking records constantly. They're printing money. Now Australia is talking about printing money. You know?
Australia has to, because the problem is the Australia, unless Australia could get in more foreign investing in there, they could keep themselves going for a little while longer. And if they could get their property prices are set to skyrocket according to all these different headlines we've been reading the last couple of weeks on trends in the housing market. And it's the same thing. They are looking for basically hopefully some sort of relief from some more outside money to come in, right? So, did you see that our article I was reading about, I think it was Westpac Bank, had 20-something million violations of money laundering?
Yes, I saw that.
20 million, dude. Like, I don't think you could count to 20 million in your lifetime.
No, you couldn't, I don't think. No. Hey, I got a question. Is the Bank of Canada going to raise rates tomorrow or drop rates?
I think they're going to have to. I think they're going to have to.
You know what? It's a hard call. Like, I've been reading a few articles and they're not quite sure, but you can't, they got some bad economic news there recently. So it's a hard call.
Well, we're going to see our dollar slip. The second they lower, if they decide to lower rates, you're going to see all the markets be on hold until they announce it. All the markets are going to be like stopped. Everyone's going to be looking at the TV, waiting for him. Well, and the markets are just sitting still. Huh?
They say the loonie's been very strong, so.
Yeah, but what I like is when our dollar gets weak and we want to ship stuff to America, because I ship from home, right? I work from home and I ship from home, right? And this is a great opportunity to sell more stuff to America from Canada. But on the Canadian side now, they're scanning our mail to make sure we're not mailing anything across the border. It's only a written letter is allowed to be sent to America. And if you want to send something via stamp and it's small enough, you actually have to pay like $14 convenience fee now with no tracking.
That's with no tracking either. How are you going to make a living?
You can't. I could make a fortune selling my magic cards across the border with our attractive weak dollar. But I can't do it. The Canadian federal government won't allow me to run my business. So they're basically starting to starve us.
They haven't started to starve us yet.
No, but you know what I'm saying? They're starting to take whatever little...
I know what you're saying.
Then I got YouTube, where there used to be a nice little steady stream of income. It's gone. I lost that. Then, everything starts falling off one after another.
Ooh, how do we make the transition to digital? Do you know how much money is going to be lost from people there? Half the restaurants in this area don't take debit. It's cash only transactions. Mm-hmm. All the burger joints, the restaurants, it's all cash.
Well, they have a really tough time. If it's digital, they're going to have to actually, like today I paid my PST.
Yeah, I know. But if it goes digital, well, where all your tips have to be claimed. Everything. Mm-hmm. They got you for everything. How valuable will be a black market currency, say silver coins, for us to transact out from under the radar?
Well, okay. Let me ask you a secondary question to the first question you just asked me right now. Did you watch Mike in the Night last Saturday night when we were talking about off-grid towns and minting? There's towns in America that are minting their own silver.
I actually wanted to comment on that off-grid there, but yeah, go ahead.
What did you think of that?
I've heard of that before. I've heard of that in the States where they're minting their own silver. I've heard of companies paying their employees in silver.
Yes, there is. There's small towns, a couple of small. I call them strip towns because there's just like two sets of lights and one strip, a bank and a post office, and they're doing it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you said that you'd like a community within walking distance of town. I don't think that's going to be a friendly atmosphere. I think you want to get away from the cities.
I'm talking about no. I want walking distance from where you live to walking distance from our interior community.
Oh, to a small community.
No. It's all fenced in. I'm talking about a meeting area with greenhouses, so it's all year round and it's warm inside. Picnic tables, people come in and we grow all our vegetables horizontally. No, like a skyscrapers. They're going up. All the vegetables going up, and it rotates like this big thing.
Yeah. See, my idea was to take because I work in the shipping container industry. Mm-hmm. So it was to take like 20 containers. You can get them 54 feet long, 48, 20 feet, whatever you want. You can throw them down. I can do all the work myself, wiring, plumbing, everything on that container. I can build it into a little house inside, cut windows. You can put those up quick. You put them in an area. No,
I'm saying, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying that we create a community inside. So we got like 400 acres, 1,000 acres. And what we do inside, 20 kilometers in the middle, hopefully we map it out so there's a river. We have a community garden area where people meet, and we have like town dinners and stuff, and everybody comes out, and then we have comedy shows and stuff. We keep it natural, you know what I'm saying? And we even set up an area where there's no flyovers, where planes don't even fly over. So they don't even know we're there.
They don't know you're there. Well, if wind gets out that you guys are there, you're going to have tens of thousands of people who want your food. They want your women.
No, the problem is they have to trek a lot. It's going to be rough terrain. I'm just imagining this. Rough terrain, you just can't drive in there. You got to go kilometers and kilometers and kilometers till you get to the point. You know what I'm saying?
See, my idea was to put a fence compound, 2 fences, 8 feet wide, 2 fences 8 feet apart, and the dogs run in between the fences around the whole compound. Those are all dogs, and then you have to have people watching out on the. You have to have lookouts. You have to have everything.
No. You see, the thing is, I know what you're saying, but that's only for a close perimeter town that's close to the fence. I'm talking we're like 40 kilometers in the middle, on each direction.
That's it. All depends on the severity of a recession to the disintegration of what happens, right? You know.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to growing food, and not in our climate. Like I guess you could in our climate, but
well, in the greenhouses, I was showing photos of those greenhouses with those conveyor belts. You know.
Yeah, you'd have to be solar. You'd have to have a lot of compost. You'd have to renew everything you have. I'm sure it can be done. They did it before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was, and I think they lived a lot harder life 100 years ago than we live today.
Mm-hmm.
So it couldn't be done. But I think a lot of that knowledge is lost already, and that's going to be detrimental to the survival of our people.
Mm-hmm.
There's just not a lot of that is being handed down. There are people that know how to do it, though. You got to learn how to can food. You got to tan hides. You got to plants, you got to grow, you got to harvest, you got to have machinery, you got to have workforce. There's a lot to all that. So people think, oh, I'll just go live in the bush. No, you'll probably die in a few days. Starvation.
Yeah.
You know?
Unless your bathroom kills you, because you know the bacteria and stuff and the buildup. If people living in condos, they don't know how unsafe they are with the bacteria in their bathroom. In 2-3 weeks, they're dead.
You know what? Most people fall in their bathroom and die anyway. So, yeah, 1 billion people on this planet are still defecating outside. I think I read that story the other day.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, eh? Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. Any final words? We're approaching 50 minutes.
Oh, really?
50.
Yeah. You know what? I'm very interested to see what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't think there's going to be a rate cut. Although if it happens, I'd say there's a 25% chance. It's going to be interesting to see. Could be a surprise.
I think they need to cut rates so they can get more people into the housing market.
You know what? They might do it. It's going to be interesting to see. But I do believe like the house prices are going to fly. I've been telling people that they're going to keep going. They're going to keep juicing these markets. They're starting to inject the heroin. They're jacking it. The needle got a lot bigger. I'll put it that way. They're going to goose these markets. The stock market's going to hit 30,000 Dow. You know, there's going to be defaults in companies, stuff. You're going to see you're going to watch it. You're living this. Mm-hmm. You know, very few people actually, and you're going to learn. Everybody's going to learn a lot. People that are interested in watching and following, they're going to learn a lot.
Yeah, they're going to wake up. The people that don't know and that are not following are going to wake up to a huge crash course and a huge meltdown, and they're going to be like in shock.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm not selling all my properties on a whim. I'm not cashing out all my fiat for silver and gold on a whim. Obviously, there's something that's telling me to do this, you know. And it's not just 1 or 2 people. It's every single person I study. Every single hedge fund manager, every single one of them is telling you where the safe assets are, what's going to happen. We all know. You know what? We taught ourselves. We know what's coming. You don't got to listen to anybody else. You know what's coming. You just know. So on that note, buy silver.
All right. Well, I hope they don't axe my channel, but if people watching, if you're watching the channel and you want to be a part of the community here and you want to call into the show, you're more than welcome. Let me get to the channel here to show you guys. Let me do a quick plug on the channel. Here I am here. You could send me a tip on my PayPal tip jar. You could support me on Patreon by donating $1 a month. And I'm on BitChute, I'm on Brighton, and I'm on BitTubers. Right now, BitTubers is the bigger one for me right now, only because it's allowing me to stream, and I actually paid for time on here. I'm actually putting money out of pocket, quite a bit actually out of pocket when you actually add it all up in the end, so I could get my videos. But I'm getting so many views on here, and I'm on spotlighted under trending. They spotlight me under different areas, which is really nice. So everyone gets a fair chance to get their videos out there. And it's just not on YouTube, it's just people pouring gravy down their pants. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm going to make a donation, Mike. I think if people are watching you and they like watching your channel, you got to donate. Throw some money down.
Raven, you don't know how much manpower I put into this. You know how much manpower I put into this.
I believe it. Yeah, I know how much I spend a good 5-6 hours a day. I know you do. I know you do. I watch. You do a lot of content, lots of content.
So yeah, I think if everyone would chip in $1 a month, I think that's not that bad. $12 a year.
No, and you know what? A lot. You would have tens and hundreds of thousands of people watching Mike in the Night if they had just sit down and watch it and see, oh, wow, this is kind of interesting to get perspectives of people from all over the world. It's very interesting, but people, they got to get in contact with it. Give it a chance,
It's not that they don't want to give it a chance. It's that we're not being found.
Yeah. I remember the very first video I saw, you were sitting in your store, your old store. And I was thinking, who is this guy talking about houses? Who is it? But I gave you a chance. And then I caught another one. And then I saw that and then I subscribed. And then I seen the Trends in the Housing Market came on, and it was a live chat room. And I was like, wow, he's got a chat room. But there's one thing, when you come on the chat room, I think that you should say on Saturday nights, this show goes live on Saturday nights, and say it on the video. First thing, this show goes live Saturday nights at 11 p.m. Central Time. I think that's what it is for me. Yeah, it's 11 p.m. And so the people who watch it go, oh, wow, there's a live video. Hey, when's this guy on? But they don't know when you're on.
Well, the problem is YouTube used to allow me to pre-set my live streams, but now my channel is not authorized to do it anymore.
Yeah, I know that a lot of people will grab YouTube channels, like they'll grab famous people like Dalio, and they'll make their own video trying to get hits. And it's an old video that they took. I like when I go on a video and the guy says this video is December 3rd. This video is recorded December 3rd. Then I know this is a fresh video, right? Because you spend a lot of time watching videos that are older that someone kind of stole,
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people would come to your site if they knew that you were, and you said on the video, whenever that Mike in the Night, if you actually said, this is being filmed, and if you want to come to an episode of Mike in the Night, we are on Saturdays, and just a quick 11 p.m. Eastern.
When I introduced the show, broadcasting from Merritt, this is a live show, live transmission. Your calls are welcome to the dates, and then I just announced the dates. There's no way I could take it back after.
Oh, you say the date?
Most of the time I do, yeah.
And this show is broadcasted on Saturdays at 11 p.m.
I put if you go under the community channel here, under the community, I send out shout outs to people, sending Mike in the Night going live. There's a lot of them actually on here. See, Trends in the Housing Market tonight, 8 p.m. Pacific time. And then there's Mike in the Night live tonight at 9. Important show, don't miss it.
Yeah.
So I actually put it out there. I let people know. The people that come on the show, the 90 or 100 people we get watching, are people that know, and they come on and they find me and they know I'm here. Because I'm very punctual when it comes to doing my show.
I've plugged your channel on a couple comment sections on other YouTube sites.
Really? They probably flag that because when they see another...
I've plugged it. I've mentioned it before. Because I think on those sites, those people, I've actually seen Lord Humongous. He's still there?
Yeah, I saw him too. I see him comment on other things too.
Yeah, I've seen him comment on other channels. I've actually talked to him on other channels in the comment section there.
Yeah,
So
it's like, yeah, Mike Martin's,
all
man.
over.
Woo!
Yeah, Lord Humongous is all over the internet, man. He's in all those channels looking around for the truth.
Yeah.
So
yeah. He was on the show last Saturday, Mike in the Night.
I heard. Yeah, I was listening.
Yeah,
I was after. It was after the fact, probably 10 hours, but
yeah.
And Supreme was on, and you had Leaf on.
Yeah, Supreme, Leaf, had everybody on the show, man. Yeah. Always looking for the next person that want to come on. I'm trying to get a hold of Evan in Hong Kong. He's like MIA right now.
Yeah, a lot of interesting things going on there. They're having a hard time, eh? And I was reading today, they're having a very hard time there.
Yeah,
prices are all crashing. Their economy's falling apart.
Yeah, I hope they figure something out real quick, because this fighting is just pointless. It's gonna get nowhere.
Well, it's all over the world. Where's there a bright spot out in the world somewhere? Is there a bright spot anywhere?
Probably in the Azores.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Places that a majority of people on this planet have no idea where that is or can't find it on the map. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So
they probably don't know where Canada is either, though.
Yeah, well, it's one of the biggest countries on the it takes up a percentage of the globe, man.
A good chunk, yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
we're heading into our 1 hour here, and that's really good. We spoke for a whole hour.
Lots of topics. There's lots going on. You could talk for 100 hours. There's so much going on.
Hey, can you do me a favor? Go to BitTube.
Yeah.
The BitTubers, BITTUBERS.com. Go check out the site. Go to my channel. Check it out.
I will.
Go to my YouTube channel. Go to the top and click on BitTubers on the top here.
Yeah. I think YouTube has pretty much lived its lifespan for me.
Yeah. Well, it lets me stream live off there. So if I need to, I'll stream live off there then.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry. But I'm paying for the platform though. That's the only drawback. So yeah. Anyways, all right. Thank you very much. You can stay on the line. I'm just gonna disconnect the transmission, and I want to thank everyone for watching. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Get over to another platform and see me if you want to be part of this community. And I think I'm gonna start streaming. If I get hacked on the 10th, guys, just a heads up. Go to bittubers.com. Just go there. Just start going there, and that's it. Thanks for watching, and let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Thanks for watching.